guys
They can see me in the shadow.
and girls. Christina's hovering.
Okay, let me sit like this.
Oh, so I guess this is my coming out story. Christina told me I have to sit up so I can look like a lady. Let's see. Coming out story. Well, I came out a little over 3.5 years ago, right around the time I started dating Christina. Actually, right after I started dating Christina. Yeah.
I'm not here.
Okay, let's see. So I started dating Christina, and at the time I just assumed that I was with her because of who she was, because I thought she was a great person and we were good together, but it wasn't something where I thought this is just who I am. I thought it was her, just her, and this is what it was. So as time kind of progressed, I started thinking about my life a little bit more and what I had thought before her, and I realized that it probably started a couple of years before Christina, when I was in college, and there was this one girl who so smart and so pretty, and I just wanted to be friends with her. And the more I thought about it, I really realized it wasn't that I wanted to be friends with her. It was just like I kind of had a crush on her, you know? So I realized that all the females after that, anytime I received attention from a female, I would kind of start liking them and thinking in my head, oh, they'd be cool people to hang out with. Or, oh, I want to be their friend, you know? And it sounds really stupid, but I think it was more like, oh, you have a crush. But because I'd never been with a female, I didn't really know what it was. Before I'd started dating Christina, I was curious. I had dated several guys. I'd been with several guys, and it never worked out for me. So I assumed, one, it was me, I'm just not the relationship type. Two, maybe I don't like guys. Three, it might have been the wrong guys, whatever it was. So I did. I tried dating females. I went on Craigslist and I tried to meet some, and you're going to look at me like I'm crazy. Needless to say, those didn't work out. And after that, I still thought in my head, well, I don't like guys, I don't like girls, so it's just going to be me. And then I met Christina. I thought it was one of those things where, like, I'm not gay, I just happen to be with a woman. That just happens to be who I fell in love with. And I thought that for a while until I really started, I guess, listening to other people's stories and really kind of reevaluating everything that I had kind of dealt with before that. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that that wasn't the case at all. I mean, granted, Christina's great. I'm sure that had something to do with it. But more I started being in the community, the gay community, that is, the more I started realizing this is who I am. This is what I want to be a part of. And I enjoy it. I like being around gay people. They're cool.
Do you think you were born this way?
Was I born this way? Yeah. I think everybody who's gay is born that way. I feel some people might not indulge in their gayness, but I feel like if you're true to who you are, then that's just what it is. You know, I even though I had only dated guys for however long, that doesn't mean that it wasn't within me to be with a woman. And that's just kind of how I see it. Like, whatever, regardless of whether you find out you're gay at 5 or 35, I think it's in you. As far as when I actually came out, it was pretty easy for me to kind of come out to the world. I had no problem being seen with Christina, you know, holding hands in public. I didn't really care. I changed my Facebook status. It wasn't a big deal. With my friends, you know, after maybe like a month, I finally told them. I didn't really know how they would feel about it, but they were great. My family, My sister, she's like 2 years older than me. When I told her, she was drunk on the phone. I was like, Helen, something I have to tell you. And I told her, she's like, I can't deal with this right now. I'm drunk. And then she kind of hung up. But she calls me back like 2 minutes later. She's like, I still love you. You're great. And that was that. My brothers, it was just kind of weird. They're like, what? They just really didn't understand. They hadn't seen it coming. They're like, we didn't know. You know, we'd never expect this from you. And I'm like, well, you've never really known anybody I've dated, so I don't know why you'd think otherwise. That was that. After a couple of months of Christina and I being together, I hadn't told my parents yet. You know, I'm Hispanic. My parents are very traditional. My mom is very in tune with the church. And I was kind of scared of telling them. When I did tell them, it was because I realized that it's not fair to Christina to like kind of keep her, you know, in the dark. Not, I mean, I knew she was there, but to keep her from everybody else that I loved. You know, I loved her and everybody else deserved to know who I loved. So I finally kind of got the courage to tell my parents, and maybe not as courageous, but I wanted to make sure I got everything out. I sent them an email. And after I sent the email, I told them, like, hey, I called them. I was like, I sent you something. Read it. Call me back. So I think I did a read receipt also to make sure that they got it. But I didn't get a call back. I called like 2 days later, and as soon as my mom picks up the phone, she's like crying, and I'm like, this is not what I wanted. It's hard to hear your parents cry, and I was just like, this sucks. And she's like, don't tell your dad. And I was like, well, I sent him an email, so he already knows. And she's like, well, don't tell your dad. Turns out my dad is cool with it. I mean, he's like, this isn't what I thought was going to be your life, but if it's your life, you're happy, then do what you got to do. And he loves Christina. He asks about her all the time. My mom, on the other hand, still dealing with it. And, you know, everybody says it takes time, so I'm still waiting for that day where she's like, so, how's Christina? It'll come one day. I have hope. I have faith. And, I mean, that's kind of where it is. I like women. Nothing you can do about it.